In this video, I want to wrap up the topic of angles and talk about consecutive interior angles and corresponding angles. Okay, with corresponding angles, and these are two things that have kind of similar names, and it's going to be tough to remember. It just takes practice and you'll be fine. So with corresponding angles, it's two angles that are on the same side of a transversal. One's going to be an exterior or be outside, it could be on the top or could be underneath, as I'll show you. And the other is going to be inside your parallel lines. The key for corresponding angles, though, is this right here, and this is what you have to be able to know and use in geometry, is that they are congruent. So that is going to be really important for you to be able to know and utilize for corresponding angles. They're going to be congruent, which means they're the same. Okay, so right here, what am I talking about? Well, one has to be on the exterior, so just pick an exterior angle. Say angle 2. And if it has to be on the same side of the transversal, that means that I have to pick another angle that's on the same side as angle 2. So that only leaves me with angle 3, 6, and 7. The other thing that I specify is that the other one will be an interior angle. So basically what we are looking at here for an angle that's going to be congruent to angle 2 and on the same side as angle 2 of the transversal is angle 6. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 6 because of corresponding angles. So angle 2, angle 6, as I've said, those are corresponding angles. So we can make a note of that right here, that these are corresponding interior, sorry, not interior, my bad. These are just corresponding angles. Okay, so with consecutive interior angles, I was thinking ahead there, I made a mistake. These are two angles that are actually going to be inside of your parallel line. So we're only going to be dealing with angles that are going to be trapped inside of the parallel lines. That's it. They're also on the same side of the transversal. So that kind of helps us maybe a little bit narrow down which ones I'm going to be using for consecutive interior, is that yes, they're trapped inside the parallel lines, but they're also going to be on the same side of that transversal. Key for this that you have to know how to do and be able to utilize is that they add up to 180 degrees. So if you've heard that, make sure, let me get that, yeah, make sure that you know that and are able to use that. So I'm going to use this same drawing, I'm just going to write it down here, that if I'm talking about the interior angles, then let's start with, say, angle 4. I just picked this one at random. If it has to be on the same side of this transversal right here and also an interior angle, I only have one option, and that's going to be angle 5. So angle 4 and angle 5 are consecutive interior angles, and by this part right here, if I add them up, I must get 180 degrees. This, if you recall from class or a previous video, since these two angles add up to 180, that makes them supplementary angles. So you may hear it described like that as well. Very common to say, hey, these two angles add up to 180, so they're supplementary. So another pair of consecutive interior angles would be angle 3, according to this diagram that I've got up here still, and angle 6. If I add those up, I also get 180 degrees, and these are my consecutive interior angles for this diagram. Hope this helps, and thank you again for watching.